Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So much to discuss here with the fall football season here in Milton coming to a crescendo with the Wildcats advancing to the Division III semifinals after an unbelievable victory last week in the quarterfinals at Brooks Field, 41-27 over Masconomet. The Patriots on a roll with a big Thursday night victory over the New York Jets that put them in sole possession of the AFC East. And of course, so much to discuss with the Bruins and the Celtics kind of making headway in a season where so much has been going on with their respective years. But so much to catch up with. My main man, Al Prizzuti, and this will be our final show before the Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll be taking a hiatus next week. But I just want to give my main man, Al Prizzuti, a shout out and to say how thankful I am for him. Al, you're the best, and we love you. And so happy to have you here. And I'll in advance wish you and your family a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, you too.
Yeah, and so, but Al, I'll tell you, the Milton Wildcats, let me give them their flowers for an unbelievable victory last week at Brooks Field. It was their last appearance at Brooks Field of the year in the playoffs here with a 41-27 victory over a tough Masconomet team that came in with a dynamic player, kid named Jack Fabiano, who went for 250 scrimmage yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. He was a guy that they were going to have to focus on and stop, and they did that to varying degrees. But the Wildcats answered. Patrick Collins with 4 touchdown passes, 364 yards passing, connecting twice with Ronan Salmon on passes of 80 yards and 83 yards. Unbelievable performance, Al. And let me tell you, before we get underway, you know, you got to give Coach Steve Dembowski his flowers for what he's accomplished here at Milton. Now he has his Wildcats on the cusp, on the doorstep of a 3rd Super Bowl appearance after having gone 5-6 last year in a market correction of a season. You know, they had lost so many starters on offense, and they had to go with a lot of unproven players, especially across the offensive line. And let me just single them out right now. The offensive line, who has gelled and become a strength of this team under Coach Mike Lopez. And I'm talking about number 51, Osiagi Odian Ukpabor, who's a two-way threat for them. He's been unbelievable on offense and on defense. Finn Hegarty, another one who's gone both ways, playing linebacker. John Gelly, the captain, along with Hegarty. Dylan McDonald, and of course, Matt Wagner, who's also gone both ways on the front 7. Those guys have really solidified the front and the offense and allowed, Patrick Collins the time to operate. And he's been really, and I bet you he'd be the first one to give his offensive line props for what they have done. And I think all the success kind of revolves around them right now and their maturation and their success. So hats off to those 5 young men as they help drive the Wildcats into the semifinals, where they're going to run into a tough North Attleboro team out of the Hockomock League. North Attleboro defeated Barnstable 42-21, and now they will meet in the state semifinals in a neutral site on Saturday at 3 o'clock at Milford High School. Milford High School. So put that on your calendar, 3 o'clock down in Milford, and against North Attleboro. It's going to be a beautiful day, another fine fall afternoon. I would love to get there. I don't think I'll be able to do it, but I'll be there in spirit with the boys and with Coach Dembowski. And let me just tell you, I mean, unbelievable performances up and down. And there's been some notable kind of breakout performances. Noah Woodley as a dual threat. I think Aiden Rowley, who has been just a defensive pest, and then a stalwart on the special teams as a kicker and punter. And then I thought this new addition, Jaden Dubois, a guy who runs hard between the tackles, to kind of complement Peter Skutnik in the backfield. And, of course, Patrick Mason, who has been another deep threat to help blow the top off of defenses, along with Ronan Salmon. And, Ronan Salmon has had an otherworldly season. He will go down as perhaps the best offensive player that Milton has ever produced, I think. He's been playing with the varsity as a sophomore. He was a guy who had an unbelievable performance in their victory over Walpole in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And now he's leading the charge here for the Wildcats, along with Patrick Collins, a 2-year starter, something that Steve Dembowski has not had at quarterback for, several years now. But 2 years in a row, he's had the same guy. And now they're on the cusp of getting to the Super Bowl, Al. So a lot to be excited about. And we want to urge everyone to get down to Milford on Saturday, 3 o'clock, to cheer on the Wildcats as they attempt to get back to the Super Bowl, the Division III Super Bowl down in Foxborough. So congratulations to those guys. And I just wanted to give the flowers out there to everybody. So look forward to that. And Al, looking at the Patriots, you got to like what you see there. I mean, the performance is up and down. The only concern is the injury to Milt Williams. They had to put him on the IR. That could be impactful on that defense, especially the rush defense. But it's amazing how Mike Vrabel's able to kind of answer. Yeah. They have some weapons there. And their mantra is, we all we got, we all we need. And that's been the thing that's been driving them all year long, you
lose Ramondre, and then Henderson scores 3 the other day.
Kyle Williams comes in.
The argument that people had against the team was that they had an easy schedule. Well, they won. And people don't realize you got to go out and play, and I don't care who you play. Look at Miami. Miami beats Buffalo. So they've got the Bengals this week, and this is going to be an interesting one because the Bengals have the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, and they lost Trey Hendricks.
And the Patriots have one of the best defenses in the league. So you got the worst defense against one of the best defenses, and you got one of the best offenses with the Patriots.
Yeah.
So it's in Cincinnati, though.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't know that that's going to make much of a difference for the Bengals because they're going to be without their quarterback. They're going to be starting a 40-year-old guy in Flacco, and he's not going to have arguably his best offensive threat, Jamar Chase, who was suspended for spitting on Jalen Ramsey in their game against the Steelers, their loss against the Steelers, and he was caught red-handed. He was caught red-handed spitting. The video showed clearly him spitting on Jalen Ramsey, and unforgivable, and I just don't know what it says about Jamar Chase to have to resort to something like that against an opponent. That's the height of disrespect, I think, for any athlete, any competitor. And so I saw that, Al. I saw that, and I'm going, he's gone. They're going to suspend him, So
if you look at the rest of the season, though, my guess is they've got 2 games that they probably will lose. One against Buffalo, probably, and one against the Ravens, maybe. And then you've got the Jets, you've got the Giants, and you've got Miami.
Right.
So they should win those. That would make this team.
And this one.
And this one. But that would make this team 13-4. That's a turnaround for a team that won 4 games.
13 a year ago.
A year ago.
Not only that, a year ago, 2 years ago running,
So I just think you got to look at the whole thing and say, you know what? He did a nice job of letting some guys go that would have been around for a long time, maybe with a losing mentality, bringing in new guys, new coach, the emergence of Drake May, who does so many things well.
Right.
He's not just a drop back. He's not a drop back passer, actually. He's like a Mahomes. He's like a Josh Allen. If he sees an opening, he takes it. But I'll tell you, the 2 things he does very well is hit receivers long.
Yes.
when they break free, he gets the ball to them.
He is very good against the blitz.
Well,
he is very efficient
he's tough against the blitz because he's not a guy who's immobile.
Yes.
He sees these guys coming, he's going left, he goes right, he picks up 10, 15, so he's a runner.
Al, the thing that impresses me the most about Drake May under duress is his ability to climb inside the pocket, and if there's an opening, he will take it.
He takes it.
The one thing that I would counsel him is to get down, save yourself, protect yourself. After you gain the yardage, get yourself down.
After he gets his 7 or 8 or 9 yards, he slides. He's okay with that.
He's prone to want to throw the shoulder at some people, but I'm sure
kid.
his coaches have counseled him not to do that. I think it would be wise.
He's a tougher kid than you think.
Oh, no doubt.
He's 6'4", 6'5", whatever.
Yeah, he's packing about 220, 230, I mean, certainly he's every bit the physical stature as a Josh Allen.
Oh, well, that game Josh had the other day, that's Josh Allen, we all know.
Against the Chiefs. But the one he had against the Dolphins.
Wasn't.
Yeah, he's susceptible.
The question is it, who you playing that allows you to be either good or bad? That's always been an argument. You're playing the cream, you play Kansas City, you score, 6 touchdowns?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Well, he's like one of 2 guys in the league who scored 6 touchdowns in a game, 3 rushing and 3 passing.
Yeah. He's a tough guy.
He's a very tough guy. But, the Patriots now in firm control of the AFC East, playing right now for a lot, the number 1 seed, which means a home field advantage, first round bye. And those things are huge for a team looking to make a deep run in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And right now the whole world is talking about the Patriots as a sudden threat to go deep in the AFC.
It's not just the wins and losses. If you take a look at, how many points they score, how many points they give up against other teams, Patriots have the best. I think they've given up 206 yards.
Yeah.
On defense.
Yeah.
Best.
Well, the one thing they've been prone to is allowing teams to score on that first possession.
Well, the first possession.
They even did it against the Jets. They made the Jets look all world.
I say it every game. I'm watching the games and I go, here we go. They're going to come down. They know they're going to score. But the other thing 2 things they got to be careful of is protection on Drake May, because he's been hit quite a bit.
Yeah.
So if they get through the first series of downs without giving it's almost like a script.
Yeah.
You watch these games, the guy goes down, the whole middle of the field is open.
Right.
They're gaining 20, 25 yards every play.
Yeah.
And then they go in and they're scoring. They're not even kicking field goals. On the first plays, they're scoring. So you're down 7 before you even get a chance to touch the ball. The other day, the team went, 14 plays, 9 minutes before the Patriots even came on the field.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't leave your defense out there for that period of time.
No.
Because it takes a pound
But coincidentally, the Patriots got the ball and came down and had 14 plays to offset.
Yeah.
Which is
they can possess the ball. They can possess it.
Yeah, well.
And they have a lot of emerging talents there, like you mentioned, Travion Henderson. They're going to be getting some guys back. Likely Booty, I think, is going to be huge.
Yeah.
If they get him back.
I think that
Stevenson, if they get him back, lightens the workload for Henderson.
But the thing that impressed me more, because you remember, Ramondre would be an off-tackle kind of runner.
Yeah.
Where Henderson is more of a sweep, edge. But I'll tell you, he gets an opening in the middle.
Oh, home run.
He can scoop.
Home run now. He can do it.
And, I think the other thing is he went to Ohio State, so that's a good thing. And I think
who else on the dais went there? I know Vrabel. I did it.
So anyways, no, I think that we're all happy watching the Patriots because for 2 seasons,
They
You
were
knew they were going to lose.
They were not appointment
Well, you
television.
knew they were going to lose.
But they were not appointment
Now you
television.
watch, and you want to be watching Drake May. You want to be watching Henderson. You want to watch all of the players.
And you know what? Who else wants to watch them? The rest of the country.
Well, yeah.
Now they're starting to be the
Well, they're on
focal
Monday
point of
night
a lot of
against the
these.
Giants.
You know, there's talk about them getting flexed to the Sunday night game, a Monday night game.
Well, they got a Monday night game coming up.
Yeah, and I think that's a Giants game. Right?
Yeah, the Giants. So they got the.
So
Saints
there's other games
the
though that they
Giants.
could get flexed out to. I think the Bills game is probably going to be like a Sunday night possibility.
We'll see.
You know, and I don't know if the Ravens game could possibly be another one.
That could be a tough game. The Ravens haven't got a great record, but they're a tough
That's
team.
that would be a compelling game to show. And so, you know, the rest of the country now wants to see if the Patriots, if they want to see what we already know, which is that the Patriots are for real, you know, and they're the real deal. And I think, you know, Mike Vrabel's the real deal, you know, without a doubt.
Players love him. You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a taskmaster, but they like him.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
You know why? Because he comes with the creds. You know, he's done it, played at a high level. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been around great coaches. He himself has become one. You know, he's taken all the things that he's learned from all these guys that he's been with, and he's applying them. And you know what? He's putting his own personal touch on it. And I think he's connected with players in a way that players value what he has to say. They take that to heart, and they understand that any criticism he has for them comes from a place of concern and of betterment for this player.
If you look at this though, what makes him even better is Stephon Diggs, Booty,
Yeah.
the tight ends. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons and different routes. I mean, Diggs is by far the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a sure thing if you can get the ball to him.
But you know, at the beginning of the year, he wasn't such a sure thing.
Well-
we didn't know what he was going to be able to give this team as he was coming off an ACL. But you know what? And Al,
That's
here's
the other thing.
Yeah.
off an
And here's the thing
ACL.
that I think they should be credited for was the composition of this roster. Al, they hit so many home runs with their offseason acquisitions and their draft picks this year. And we're seeing, I think, the fruition of that.
No, Campbell.
And there's been, you know, talk about, hey, Elliott Wolf, you know, hey, Josh McDaniels, these guys are all responsible, part and parcel, in the success of this team with the development of the players and the acquisition of players in the offseason and the draft, you know. And you got to give it to Wolf because he resisted calls from teams trying to pry away the pick away from him because they wanted Drake May. They wanted Drake May, you know, over a lot of guys. And right now, Drake May is proving to be the real deal. And I think that they should be commended for that. But again, they're appointment television. They're the straw that stirs the drink right now in the NFL. And we're going to see more of Tony Romo and Jim Nantz maybe. or Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, you know. Or maybe even Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, you know, coming over to Foxborough. So, you know, as they gravitate back, you know, I think the stakes grow higher for the Patriots, you know. So, but in looking at what's going on with the Bruins and the Celtics, Al, Bruins took a big shot on the chin, literally and figuratively, with the loss of you know, Charlie McAvoy in that game against
Didn't hurt them
Montreal.
all that much in the game. I'll tell you one thing. The Carolina Hurricanes, okay, were a better team.
Oh, no.
First of all, if you
Their
watch,
speed killed.
that's
speed.
checking 101.
Yeah.
And the Bruins couldn't keep up with that.
No.
I mean, they played better. They're a better back check, forecheck team than they've had in years. They get out of the zone very well. He moved Lori down to the third line, incidentally, with Asperat.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing because you put Lori and McAvoy together where they were, you got two guys that come out of the zone, which leaves them vulnerable for breaks.
Right.
And now with Asperat and Lori's offensive. Let's be honest about it.
No doubt.
Not a big
He's a
defensive guy.
puck-carrying defenseman.
And he played a good game the other night.
Yeah.
I look at this team and say, they beat Montreal in Montreal.
No small
That
feat.
was a
No small feat.
Don't forget
Al,
Montreal.
did you
was
see
in
how many?
first place.
How many PKs they had in that game? A 5-on-3
Twice.
Yes, almost
Twice.
back to back.
And they weren't 30-second. They were a minute and
2 minute.
a minute and a half and
Yeah.
whatnot. That's what I like about the team is they're interesting to watch. They work.
Yeah.
They work hard. They don't give up. They always come back. They almost came back the other night
Right.
in that Carolina game. So this is going to be an interesting 4 games because they're out on the West Coast. Tonight they're playing, and Marco Sturm is actually reunited with the Los Angeles Kings. Which is both teams. He's got an interest there. They're going to finish with the Islanders back here, so only 3 games out on the road.
Yeah.
I think if they could win 2 of those games,
Huge.
that's big
Yeah.
for this team. Because usually going out west, they come back with their tail between their legs. 'Cause
Well,
they've lost.
unbelievable. They go to Montreal. They beat the Canadiens.
They beat Toronto.
beat
twice.
Toronto. And now you're looking at the leaders in the Atlantic Division when they're coming home from Montreal. Who would have thought that, given their start?
Yeah, now they're in second, though, already. Here's the thing, though. If you look at it, they've got 2 games in hand on 1 or 2 games in hand on the top 3 teams behind them, which means that if they win their games, the Bruins are in 4th.
Yeah.
Though they're not firmly ensconced in first place. What they are is in second place because they've played 1 or 2 more games than everybody else.
Yeah.
So,
But
it is what it
they
is.
went on a really important winning streak there that I think helped right the ship.
well, and on top of it, if you look at it, there's 5 or 6 teams that if you win or lose a game, the Bruins can go from 2 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Panthers could go from 5 to 2. It's right now. It's a dice roll.
Oh, and then you got the Celtics, Al.
And I watched that game last night.
They play hard too, Al. But sometimes they're prone to having lapses, as they did against the Clippers. Were it not for a missed 3-pointer by James Harden at the end of that game.
If they don't hit their threes, they lose.
They're vulnerable. But you know what the thing I noticed, Al? They're attacking the rim more. They're getting to the mid-range jumper, the elbow. I think they're softening up teams inside a little bit, and they're getting more rebounding from their wings and their guards.
Yeah, but they're not deep. If you look at this team, it's Brown, it's Pritchard,
And it's white.
it's White, it's
Sam Hauser,
Hauser, and the other kid there,
Anthony Simons.
Anthony Simons.
Yeah.
That's the team.
Yeah.
Everybody else comes in, they get 2 points, 4 points, they play 9, 10 minutes, whatever. I think they need more of a contribution.
And I'm going to tell you, I would submit to you that through the first 15 games of the year so far, with the Celtics now at 8-7, they've climbed up above the 500 mark. One of the emerging breakout stars of this early season run would be Jordan Walsh, who I think has emerged as a defensive stalwart, a guy who brings great energy off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
He can defend anybody. He kind of relishes the role of being a stopper, of getting on the other team's best player and making him work. Mm-hmm. And he does a tremendous job of moving his feet on defense out and getting into guys.
Look, they'd be 10-5 if they had Porzingis because they can't rebound.
Last night, case in point, though, he goes and Jordan Walsh has a textbook closeout on the 3-point line on Claxton. All right, Nick Claxton. They wind up calling a foul on Jordan Walsh, and Walsh is standing there going, there's nothing else I could do. I mean, it was a textbook closeout, and yet they get a call against him. And then, you have Luka Garza, you have, Neemias Queta, all trying to work hard inside. But in some cases, Garza, clumsily kind of, fumbles about and bumps into a lot of rebounds. But Queta, I think, has a difficult position, a difficult time defending his position against bigger opponents.
Well, I think the forwards got to box out a little better to give them a little room because they're not.
Well, you're talking about, guys like Josh Miner, and Simons, who are kind of like greyhounds, and it's tough going against pit bulls when you're a greyhound.
No, I think over, what do they play, 82 games?
Yeah.
Is it something like that? I think over 82 games, if they end up, 48 wins, that's going to be what this team is.
48-50, I think would exceed all expectations.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's expecting them without Jason. Because what Jason and Brown bring is Ruth and Garrick, it's Mantle and Maris, the team up. So anyways.
But they're bringing, Jaylen Brown is now leading this team. He's being the leader of this team and bringing it together. And I think that's going to be invaluable for when Tatum comes back.
Yeah, you give me a situation though where you need a basket. It's White that I want shooting, and Peyton Pritchard when he's on.
Simons, give me Simons. Yeah. That guy is pure.
White's done
shooter.
it though. The legacy of White is that if it's going to be, right down to the wire, you need somebody to shoot. I mean, it's going to be Brown, but I mean, if it's not him, I want it to be White.
Yeah. But, it'll be awesome, man.
Incidentally, I watched the show with Costas, and it was on not Mickey Mantle, but Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Very interesting guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what he went through.
Oh, no doubt.
What he produced. I didn't realize that he loved Milwaukee better than Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I like those shows because they talk about different things. I mean, Costas does a nice job.
He does.
He's pretty good.
Fabulous job.
And even Eddie Murray, I didn't realize how great a ball player Eddie Murray was.
Yeah, what a great hitter he was.
Great hitter.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And they asked Aaron about McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa. And he had an interesting thing. He said if they actually were tested and they failed and all of this stuff, then I say, no, they shouldn't be in.
Right.
But he said, I don't think Bonds admitted that he did it.
Yeah.
And what about Roger Clemens?
He'll go to his grave saying he didn't.
Huh?
He'll go to his grave saying he didn't.
I know.
I mean, he testified in Congress to that.
So did Big Papi. But anyways, it's kind of interesting to watch and get a player's perspective. I didn't realize they showed Rod Carew.
Yeah.
What a ball player he was.
Oh. Yeah.
Tony Oliva, Rod Carew, a lot of these guys, great hitters.
Great hitters.
Good. I would recommend anybody, if you can get it on TV, to watch the Costas shows.
All right. Good. Well, that's going to do it for us. Again, we'll be going on hiatus next week for Thanksgiving holiday. On behalf of my main man, Al Prizzuti, I want to wish you and your family all the best over the Thanksgiving holiday. I want to encourage you to get out to watch the Milton Wildcats Division III semifinal, 3 o'clock Saturday in Milford at Milford High. And on Thanksgiving morning at Braintree for the traditional Thanksgiving matchup against the Braintree Womp. So maybe we'll see you out there. All righty, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and happy holidays to you and yours.